Alright folks, this is Coby with CobyWright.com, and I just want to thank everyone for showing up tonight. And tonight I'm going to be covering the topic of downloads. And what I mean by downloads is basically everything that it takes, all the steps that you need to uh, get a product, put it on the internet, so to speak, so that other people can purchase it from you or give it away to build your list, and so they can download it. I know that when I was first starting, this was one of the biggest problems for me. And even though really it's really simple once you learn how to do it, and it's one of the things that a lot of marketers we take for granted once we learn it, and we kind of move on to more and bigger and better things, so to speak, or whatever. It's something that a lot of us take for granted. And so here lately I've been getting this question a lot, and I've been putting this off and putting this off and putting this off, and finally I thought, you know what? Let's just do it live. And what a better way to show everyone so I can answer your questions while we go. That way I know that I won't miss anything. Okay, so I'm going to go as slow as I can, but we're going to go as quickly as I can. So if I miss anything while we're doing it, then please put it in the chat box. Say, Coby, what was that? Okay, because that's why we're here. I want to show you how to do this, especially if this is something you've been struggling with. Okay, so before we get started, close down any other browsers, any other programs that you're running, and it'll help with your audio, it'll help with the speed, because unfortunately GoToWebinar, it sucks up a lot of memory. So if you do that, it'll help with the audio, and if you're on Wi-Fi or something, it can get sketchy as well. So anyways, if you lose me at any time, go ahead and put it in there, and I'll see if I can get you fixed up. Maybe, because sometimes I do sit on the button and crazy stuff like that. Anyways, let's talk about downloads. Now, as I go along, you have to put your questions in, okay? So you can go ahead and start putting them in now. There's not a whole lot in there yet, other than saying, asking about a recording, which hopefully there will be a recording. Beverly said, I'm very new to web hosting, so hopefully this will give me some insight. Yes, hopefully that's what we're going to do tonight. And then Stan said this subject is so needed. I agree. So here we go. First of all, whenever if you're building a list, or if you're selling products, you have to have a way for your customers to be able to download them after they purchase it or after they opt into your list. Now, there's a dozen ways to do that. You can do it using Amazon. You can do it using services like Dropbox and etc. But the most common way, and the way that you need to at least get familiar with in the beginning, is using your own server. And this works even if you're on a shared hosting. And it works, if you're on dedicated, if you're on a VPS server as well. Because in the beginning, I was on a shared hosting account, which is, if you don't know what I'm talking about with a shared hosting account, if you go to HostGator and you get like the Baby Croc plan, which is like $10 a month, that's a shared hosting plan where you're on the same IP address as, on the same server, you're on the same server as other people, thus it's shared. When you move up to like a dedicated or a VPS server, which they're more expensive, then they put you kind of off on by yourself. But I just recently, a few months ago, myself upgraded to a VPS. So I used a shared hosting account for over a year with no problems whatsoever, running a lot of sites. In the end, I ended up having 3 shared hosting accounts, so it wasn't much of a price increase to go ahead and move over to a VPS. I pay about $80 a month right now for a level 4 VPS. So with that said, how do you put it on your server? Well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start in the very beginning. Let's go and let's talk about how you zip up a file. Okay. Well, let's back up even further. I'm sorry. I see someone has their hand raised. Randall does. Randall, if you have a question, just put it in the chat box. I'll get you fixed up, buddy. Okay. Let's start with, how do we create a product? Okay, well, let's say that this right here is a PDF, okay? Right now I'm using OpenOffice. Let me put this so it looks like the normal view, the print layout. There we go. I'm using OpenOffice, which you can download for free at, let me put it right here for you. It's www.openoffice.org. And this is similar to Microsoft Word, except it's free. Okay, it's a word processing software. Okay, so this, we'll pretend that this is a book that we just wrote. Okay, or actually, you know what? Let's get a real ebook. So I want y'all to get the real feel for this. I wrote one today, so let me go and open it. Uh, Let me pause my screen here and I'll go and find it. Just a second. Let me open it up. All right, projects. Okay, here we go. Which one was I open? Which one was I using? Let's see. Is this the one? Aha. Okay. Okay. This is a Word document that I created today. I actually turned it into an ebook. This is going to be, Graham was asking about, I sent an email last night about a product called PLR Formulas that I put up, and this is going to be the upsell for that. I'm just not quite done with it. That's why Graham was asking about that before the show started. So this is an ebook. You can see this is just a word processor. I mean, you just type, and I highlighted it and created the fonts and, did all that stuff, made it look kind of fancy. It didn't really do anything, that you can't do. I'm not really that techy. You can so see it's just the ebook. So got my name and stuff in it. So now that we're done, I'm using OpenOffice. This is the cool thing about OpenOffice is right up here. You probably can't see this since on your screen, but there's a little bitty thing. It's got a little PDF symbol that says export directly as PDF. You can click that and turn it straight into an ebook, or you go over here to File, Export as PDF. If you're using Microsoft Word, I believe you can do it the same way by going to Save As and then saving it as a PDF. So I've been told. I don't use Microsoft Word very often. Here lately, I like OpenOffice. I use both of them, but whenever it comes to creating a PDF, I just use OpenOffice if the files are available. Sometimes I have to use it in Microsoft Word. So anyways, click the Create PDF. Let's go to Desktop, and we'll save it there. Call it Beyond PLR. And there we go. Save. Zoop. Ta-da. There we go. I'm going to go look on my desktop. And I would look on here. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Now it's a PDF. Right? Isn't that awesome? See how quick that was to create a PDF? And it looks pretty nice. I mean, it's simple. Those of you who've bought my stuff, I keep it simple. But it still looks nice, okay? It's simple but nice. That's the way I like to do it. There we go. So those of you watching, can everyone, is everyone with me so far? Do you think that assuming you had the content, that you could make an ebook? Okay, Richard says he's good. Neil said yes. Neil, that's off topic, but yes, I will do a webinar showing you how to use Imminica, because there's a lot of stuff that people need to learn in there. So yeah, I will do that. Maybe I can do that next week. Okay, Donna says yes. Dan says yes. Neil said definitely. Okay, cool. Graham says yes. Okay. Beverly said looks good. You converted me to try OpenOffice. It looks really easy. Yeah, OpenOffice is really cool. And Gary and Drew also said yes. Okay, cool. So everyone's with me so far. That's how easy it is to create your PDF. So let me close this. Y'all can't see it, but the GoToWebinar has a little taskbar. It's always right here on the side where you need to be. Get it out of the way. Okay. Get this out of the way. Now, let me go back to the desktop. And now that I've got this, all I have to do is find my file, and let's create a folder. And let's just call it test, or let's do webinar. So I'll open up the webinar. Oops, I guess I should put the, I'm just going to click and drag it over the folder and drop it in there. So I moved it in there. So now all I have to do to zip this up is, let me put another file in here. Let me put another file in here so y'all can see what it looks like. There we go. I'm going to put 2 files in there. So now all I would have to do, if I want to zip these two together, let's say this is the product and this is a bonus, because this actually is a bonus report. that I just haven't got a chance to send to y'all yet. But so we'll say we want to zip them together. I'll click on the first one. Now if you click on the second one that it unhighlights the first one. Now there's two ways around this. You can just click kind of outside here and drag to cover both files, or you can just click one file, hold down the control key and click the other one and just keep clicking as many as you want until you have all the files that you want. And now to turn them into a zip file, now that you've chosen them, you right click, and if you see when you right click that it comes down here and it gives me the option right here, it says send to. When you choose send to, whenever you hover over it, it sends out this other extended menu, and it has options such as compress zip folder, desktop, create shortcut, documents, fax recipient, mail recipient, Skype, DVD. So I'm just going to choose send to compress zip folder, and now I can name it. So let's name it webinar product, and I'm doing, or pay attention to whenever you're, I'm sorry, I get ahead of myself sometimes. I'm excited tonight. Okay, whenever you're naming a zip file, I'll talk about this later on when we upload it to our server, but keep in mind that when you upload it to your server, whatever you name it here, it's going to be case sensitive. So you can see that I capitalized webinar. Whenever I get ready to type out the URL, which I'll show you how that we're going to get that URL in a minute, if I was to put in webinar with a lowercase w, it's not going to show up. So let me go over here and show you. Say that if mysite.com and if I was loading the zip, this is the correct URL, right? Webinarproduct.zip. If I was to send you to type it in as this, they would get a 404 page or not found or something like that. But however, if it was to capitalize, say, site, so it's site with a capital S.com, then it would still work. If they did site with a lowercase, it would still work. So everything on this side is not affected. It's not case sensitive, but the product name, the actual file name, is case sensitive. That keeps it, that protects you. And I don't know why it works that way, but it works out to your benefit, because unless someone has the exact URL, they can't just, guess your product, or they can't guess it as easily. I see there's some questions in the box. I'm going to go look at those. Cool. Yeah, Dennis says Microsoft's pretty easy too. Yeah, it is. I use Microsoft sometimes too. It's just as easy. It's just whatever you get used to. Right now I'm on my I'm locking open Office, and it also depends on what computer I'm on. So, because I don't have Microsoft on all my computers, or Microsoft Word on all my computers. Okay, so now I've got a zip file, and with my product in it and my bonus report in it. So now we've got a zip file. Now we have to upload it to our server, right? So that people can download it. Okay. So how do we do that? Okay, how do we do that? Let's see. There's a couple different ways to do it. And the way that seems like it's the hardest, and in the beginning it's kind of intimidating, and that's using FTP. And I believe FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, I believe. So, but another way that you can upload your files is using your cPanel. And I won't go over that tonight because, well, I guess I could go over that if y'all want me to. But I'm going to show you how to do it using FTP, because once you learn FTP, it's so fast. It's so quick. It's so easy once you learn it. In the beginning, it's kind of daunting and it's kind of intimidating. But I'm going to show you how to do it. And then I'll show you how to do the cPanel as well, because cPanel is easy. cPanel is kind of, cPanel is less, or it's more idiot-proof. Not to call y'all idiots, but because I'm an idiot when it comes to tech stuff. But you know what I'm saying? It's harder to mess stuff up in cPanel. Whereas in FTP, you could accidentally click something wrong and erase something. So you have to be very careful when you're using FTP, but it's very, very fast once you get comfortable using it. So You're probably saying, okay, Coby, what's this FTP thing that you're talking about? You told me that it meant file transfer protocol, but what does that mean? What is, it's basically a way to transfer the files from your hard drive, from your local computer to your server, on the internet. So, okay, Coby, how do I do that? Well, you do that using a software, using an FTP software. In this case, I use FileZilla, and it's not at FileZilla.com. But it's spelled FileZilla like this. And just go to Google and you can type in FileZilla download, and you can find it at a few places. They actually don't have a website, surprisingly, so it's just an open source software that you can use. So I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to click FileZilla, and it took up my whole screen, which I guess that'll work. So I guess y'all can see that okay. So this is what it looks like. As you can see here, there's nothing yet. There's nothing anywhere. Let me scroll some of these down a little bit so we can. But now there's other FTP softwares you can use out there, like QtFTP is one that I've used also. And there's like Fox FTP or something that's a plugin or something that uses a Firefox. FileZilla is honestly the only one that I've ever used. It's the first one that I used, so I just got used to it. It's easy to use. It's easy for me to understand. But they're all going to work in the same way. That's going to be over here on the right side is going to be the files on your server. It's going to be the internet. The right side is the internet. And on the left side, you can see there's already files over here. This is my computer. Okay. This is my local computer. Let's go to desktop. This is my desktop. Okay. And you can see up here, it's got all the directories of my desktop. The download. I'm sorry, all the directories of my local computer, the desktop, the download page, the documents, the folders, etc., etc. So this is what you'll see when you open it. So what you have to do is you have to connect to your server. So you go over here and you click File, and then you choose Site Manager. And you can see I already have a bunch of sites in here. These are all different ones for me, for my students, and some for clients or something. What I do is I set one up tonight, right here. So let's go on that one. What you do is when you first set it up, it won't have any of these. Of course, you'll click New Site, and up here at the top where it says Host, you're going to put in FTP, and then you put in the name of. You'll put in FTP, and then you put in your website. So in this case, the website is downloadpagebuilder.com. So it's ftp.downloadpagebuilder.com. And then on protocol, leave it at FTP. On encryption, use plain FTP. On login type, it'll be set to something like anonymous. Change it to normal, and you just put in your username and your password, which you'll get from your host, and then you click connect. So is everybody with me so far? Okay, let me look at the questions here. Richard's asked, we can add as many PDFs in a zip file as we want. Yes, that is correct. You can add as many as you want, Richard. And the cool thing about ebooks is ebooks are pretty small, so you can really literally fit a ton of PDFs in a zip file without it really becoming a huge file. Whereas with videos and stuff, sometimes you might have to break them up into more than one zip file, depending on how big it is, or just tell your customer that, hey, this is a big file, so be prepared to download it. Which some of y'all have seen that if you've bought products from me before on the download page. Sometimes I'll put that. Let's see. Richard said yes, it does. Now I said correct. And Dale said yes, it is file transfer protocol. Cool. Can also upload it via WordPress media upload. You can, Neil, but I don't. I'm not very good with WordPress, so I don't use that very much. And actually, Kim gave me the URL for FileZilla, so I will put it in. Thank you, Kim, very much. If I can, maybe I'll put it in. There we go. I'm trying to copy it. There we go. Control C. Let me put this over here in the chat box for everyone. It's filezilla-project.org. Thank you very much, Kim. Sorry, I have to go into a different chat box because GoToWebinar has two chat boxes for some reason. So there we go. There's that. The link is in the file box for y'all. I'm going to put it over here on our little resource guide. There we go. It's FileZilla or hyphen, whatever you want to call that, project.org. Cool. Thank you very much, Kim. All right, let me go back to the questions. Now I lost my questions. Where'd they go? Okay, here they are. Let's see. And Drew said FileZilla.net, so that one might work as well. I'll put that one over here as well, FileZilla.net, www.filezilla.net. So there we go. Graham said, Coby, I thought nvu.com was the website for uploading FileZilla. Not sure. May. I don't use NVU. I haven't used it, so. But it may. I'm sure they have it there. See, and then Drew, Donna said yes. Richard said nope. Your nope looks out of place there, Richard. So I'm not sure what it's talking about. So if I haven't answered your question on something, then you can put it back in there. Walk me through it one more time. Okay. Which part, Richard? I'm sorry. BW asks, what password and login is used? In my case, I'm using the same ones that I would use to access my control panel, BW. But it depends on what you set it up. Like you can actually set up separate FTP accounts at your hosting, but for the most part, if you just use the same login details that you use to log into your control panel, then it'll work. And if that doesn't work, then just send a support ticket to your hosting company. They can tell you, and usually within a few minutes, what it is. Dennis said that FTP is best because some hosting will limit the size of your upload. Yes, I didn't even think about that, Dennis. In fact, I forgot about that. That is very true. Some hosting will limit the amount that you can upload, and also sometimes depending on, well, if you have a shared hosting, that could definitely come into play. I didn't even think about that at all. Thanks for reminding me, Dennis. Neil said, FileZilla is just so easy to use. I agree with you, Coby. Thank you. It is very easy. And I haven't used any of the other ones, so I can't say that it's the easiest, or that's the only one I've used, and it's worked for me, so it's pretty easy. Okay, now back to FileZilla. Or wait, I'm sorry, Richard. Which part did you need me to walk you through again? Sorry. Lost it at new. Yes, Kit, we are recording this. And I will, should be up in the morning. Okay, Richard said the left side filled, the right side empty. Okay, the reason okay, on the right side, Richard, this is our server, and you can see now it has files in there. That's because I connected to our server, or connected to my server on the internet using my hosting details. The reason it was blank before is because I wasn't connected yet. I wasn't logged in. The way you connect, again, okay, that's what you wanted me to walk you through. We go to File at the top, choose File, and then click on Site Manager, and then we'll click on New Site, because when you open yours up, there won't be anything over here because obviously it's the first time you run FileZilla. But the cool thing is, once you set it up once, you're done. So you'll click on New Site, and you can see when I put a new site, how it gave me this new one. So we'll just put new, since I don't really have one. And then what you would put is you put in your, let's say that your login name at your host is new. So we'll just go with that since that's what we're using in this one. So it'd be new dot, or it'd be, excuse me. Let's say that your site is yoursite.com. So at the host, you're going to put in ftp dot yoursite.com, and that's right up here. Hope you can see that. It's kind of small, I know. If I can make it that, nah, it doesn't really help you. And then on the next level down it says protocol, and you just leave it on the default, which is FTP, file transfer protocol. Same thing with encryption. Use it on use plain FTP, which is the default. Now on login type, the default is going to be anonymous. We're not going to do that. We're going to change it to normal. And this is where you would put in, where it says user, this is where you'd put in your username. Like I was just telling BW, this would be what you use to log into your control panel. So if your control panel username was new in this instance, we just pretend, and then say that your password was, new password, then you would type that in, and then whenever you hit connect, it's going to save all this and it'll connect to your server. And of course, if I hit connect now, it won't do anything because we'll get an error. So I won't do that, but I'm just going to hit cancel. But so we'll go back here and let's choose this one. So I'll choose this out, the site that I want. Just choose whichever site you want. I'm going to choose the one I want. I'm going to hit connect. It's going to ask me, since I'm already connected, it's asking me if I want to abort the connection and reconnect. So I'm going to say yes, which it didn't really do much. So you can see now over here on the right side, it's connected to my server. Now up here on the right at the top, there's nothing here like there is on the left. That's because I'm in the very root of the server. Like I'm at the top. It's kind of hard to explain, but there's nothing below me, so there's no directories to show. If I click like here, which is the first thing you're going to click on when you open up your FTP before you upload anything, is click on the public_HTML. And this is where your actual server is. This is called the home directory, I believe. So yours may not have this extra stuff. Oops. Yours may not have this extra stuff in it, like these files right here. Like mine do. That's because I have a VPS server, so it just puts all that in there on its own. But it will probably just have like a CGI bin. It'll probably be the only thing in there, and then the rest of it will be blank. Now let me show you this site so that you can see what it looks like, because there's literally nothing on this site. So I'm gonna go to downloadpagebuilder.com, which is the site that we're accessing right now, and you can see there's nothing on there because it's blank. We haven't put anything in here. So that's what we're gonna do in a minute, as soon as I get y'all all this part understood. Okay, so let's pretend that we've actually got a home page and a download page and all that good stuff, right? So now we're on our server and we're ready to upload our product, either give it away or so that our customers can download after they purchase it. Either way, whether they pay for it or not, the process is the same. So I'm gonna go over here to on the left side and find on our home computer, our local computer, where the files are that we want to upload. In this instance, what I would normally do whenever I'm doing freebies or downloads of any sort, actually, sorry I keep getting stuck on the free versus paid, but it's the same thing. Excuse me, I'm about to cough. Oh, sorry. What I like to do is put them in their own folder. Now I could just grab this where it's webinar because it's a folder and just bring it straight over and drop it in, and it would already be there, right? And just to show you that this is the one, I'm going to double click on it, and you can see when I do that, it brings it up, and we got our 2 PDFs in there in our zip. So I don't want to just bring the whole folder over, because then our 2 PDFs will be in there, and that's kind of pointless, right? I only want the zip file to be uploaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own little, it's called a directory, is the fancy word for it, but it's really just a folder, okay? It's called a directory, it's a folder, okay? That's a fancy word for a folder. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure my mouse is over here on the right side. I'm going to go put it up here towards the top, and I'm going to right click. Whenever I right click, you can see it brings up this little menu. There's only 3 options. The options are enter directory, create directory, or refresh. So obviously I want to create directory, and this is whatever you name this, whatever you want to put your your files, your downloads. So let's name it, you can name it downloads if you want. Let's just name it something short, and I'm not sure why my brain is going dead whenever I'm trying to think of a name. Let's just we'll just put downloads. Okay, so much for being short. So it's original, huh? So there we go. We created that. Now you can see that it shows up over here. There it is. So I'm going to now double click it so that I can enter that directory, so I can open up that folder. So I double click it, and now you can see again my server is empty on this side at the bottom, but if you look up here on the top, it shows you that I'm inside it's inside of the downloads folder, and you can see your address up here where it says remote site, where it says underscore it says public underscore HTML/downloads. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the zip file into this downloads folder. So I can do this a couple of ways. One way to do it is to click on the product, or click on the file on your home computer on the left side over here, and then right click and choose upload. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just grab the product and literally drag it over here, and you can see once I cross over this line, you can see when I'm on the left side it's a black circle with a line through it. Once I go over the little line here, I'm on the right side, now it's a pointer with like a little box and a plus sign under it. So I'm just going to drop it. I'm just going to let go of the mouse button, and it drops it in there. You can see, you might have seen, it went really fast, that down here at the bottom it turned green for a second, and then it shows up over here on the left. I'm going to click down here where it says successful transfer, so you can see that it went through. You can see where it did. So let's do it again. I'm going to do it one more time so that you can see it and watch it in case you didn't see what happened. So watch down here at the bottom, and I'm going to also show you one more thing if you try to override something. So I'm going to show you the other way to do it. Click on the product and then right click and then choose upload. I'm going to left click on the upload. So click that. Now it says, wait, target file already exists. The target file already exists, please choose an action. Now in this case I know that I just want to override it because I know that the other one is, in this case they're the same, but let's say that you're updating a file or something, you would just want to override it. And you can choose down here, what I always do is I just choose to I check this box where it says apply to current queue always, and then it'll also check the always use this action, and that's in case you're, say if I was uploading 5 or 6 zip files that were the same, it wouldn't ask me for each one. It would just go, okay, go ahead and override all of them. And if you really know what you're doing and you're a pro and you get comfortable with this, you can choose some of these other settings over here where it says always override, blah 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 blah. I don't really mess with those. I always make it ask me because like I said, I'm a tech idiot, so I like to have the reminder. So I got that chosen, so hit OK, and now be sure, watch down here and you can see where it's going to go. You ready? And here we go. Boom, you can see it going, and it's gone. So it's back over here, and now it's ready to be downloaded. So now you can download that product. And I'm going to go back. Oh, I didn't show you how to do that. Let me show you how to do that. Now if I want to go back up to the home directory, then I'm just going to, I can do it two ways. I can scroll up here to the top and choose it, or I can just click right here on this folder and it'll take me up one level. So I'm going to do that. There you go. And it took me up one level. And we still don't have a download page or nothing, but if I went over to the website here and I went to /download, then you can see that /downloads, then you can see that it's going to show that file in the directory. And I actually probably should take that off of there since it has product that I'm not trying to ready to give away yet. There we go. And I will fix that so y'all can let me open that up. If you want to go and test it out, let me take this out because we are going to test it out. Let me just take this one out. There we go. So let me refresh it, put it back up. There we go. So let me go back up. I've missed a couple of questions here. Let me catch up and let me grab a drink of my soda here while I'm doing that. Drew asked about last week's webinar. Yes, you can still get it, actually. Let me put the link in. It is at, I'll put it over here. It's at www.gocoby.com/squeeze. I'll put it over in the chat box as well. And Richard asked, so it's the cPanel info. Yes, when you're logging into your FTP, normally it's going to be your cPanel info. I use HostGator. I've always used HostGator, so it's always been the case for me. If some people are more advanced and more techy than me. They set up, they can set up more advanced FTP systems to where it requires different logins. Like I said, I'm not that techy yet, so whenever whenever I get a message from my server telling me there's like something overloaded or this or that or whatever message, I always have to forward it to HostGator and say help, and luckily they always take care of me. And then Gary asked, so this keeps from overloading your hard drive, right? Well, yeah, you can store your files on your server to keep from overloading your hard drive, but I mean, you could do that, but I mean, really, it's just so that your customers can download them. But it does really help a lot if you have a backup on your server. Because me, especially here recently, I've had like 3 computers in the last 2 years. So I got some files on this new computer. I've got some files on my laptop. I've got some files on our other desktop. So I have files everywhere, and the ones that are on my server, I can just access them, and boom, it's all good. So in the future, yeah, it's probably best now that, especially now that I have my own server, to just like maybe put like a little folder in there and just put everything in there like a backup. You could do that. So yeah, but yeah, it will keep you from overloading your hard drive. And John said you might want to put a blank index HTML in the download folder so people can't see what's in there. Yes, yes, John, I was going to mention that. I hadn't got there yet. What John's saying is, if you'll notice that whenever I went to the website, let me go back over here and show y'all. Whenever I went to downloadpagebuilder.com/downloads, that it brought up this to where it says a parent directory, and it also shows the product folder. What John's talking about doing is putting in a blank index file, which will show basically nothing. It'll literally show nothing. I'm going to show you how to do that. And what that does is if someone guesses that your folder is downloads, it'll just show them nothing. It won't show them this where they'd have access to all your files. So I'll show you how to do that. All you do is take a notepad. Let me move this chat box out of the way. All you do is take a notepad. And the chat's still in the way. Y'all can't see this chat, but it's right in the way. There we go. All you do is take a notepad and just type in this little alligator mouth. Was that the greater than sign, HTML, and then the lesser than sign, or I think I got that backwards. Either way, you get the idea with HTML in between. And I think I haven't done this in a while. I guess that's pretty much it. And then HTML. There you go. So it's literally just a blank HTML page. There's nothing on here. If you wanted, you could put something like page not found or something like that. I've done that before. But let's just leave it like this just for simplicity. And you can see all I did is on the second one is I put the // so that just means close. So we're going to save this as an index. So let's go over and we'll click Save As, and we'll save it in our webinar folder. Then we'll upload to our server. So I'm going to change this from text, and we'll change that to all files. And file name I'm going to change to index.html. There you go. You can see it renamed it up here. Oops. It renamed it up here. So we'll close that. And now if I go to my server and let me refresh this, boom, you can see it showed up over here. So let me go back to, I'm still got the downloads folder open over here right on my server. We're still on that. So I'm just going to double click this, which is the third way that you can upload files, is just by double clicking. Boom, right into it. So now if I go back and refresh this page at downloadpagebuilder.com/downloads, watch what happens. Nothing. There's nothing there, like literally nothing at all. There's nothing, like it's just white. If you go there now, it's just white. Nothing there. You can't get to it. And so that kind of thwarts, hackers. And you can also, another thing you can do is you can turn that into a redirect. Let me show you how to do that. It's very easy. Refresh this. Oh, let me go back up. I'm going to edit this with Notepad++. I can also, or let's just stick with Notepad because everyone probably already has that on their computer. If you want to make it a redirect, say you want to redirect it to your home page, then you do the same thing, Let me put a space in here, or a return in here, so to separate the HTML. I'm going to do the alligator mouth script, another alligator mouth, and then I'm going to type in the word location, and then an equal sign, no space, and then a quotation, again, no space. Type in the URL to the home page. In this case, it's downloadpagebuilder.com, and then another quotation, again, no space, and then that's it. Put alligator mouth, and then the dash, or I'm sorry, slash, the word script again, another alligator mouth, and then I've already got the HTML close tag out right here. So now I'm going to save this again, and that's a redirect script. That's it. That's how you do a redirect script. Let me, I'll pause for a second, let everyone soak that in. If you're taking notes, it's HTML with the alligator mouth, greater than sign, HTML, lesser than sign, same thing with the word script, and then the word location, the equal sign, exclamation point, or exclamation marks, the URL you're trying to redirect them to, another exclamation marks, and then close your script and close your HTML. Okay? So let's go back and I'll reload that up to my server. Refresh that. You don't have to do that. I don't have to refresh it because it's going to be the same, but I just want to do that to show y'all, to remind y'all that you can refresh. So I'm going to double click it again to upload it, and it's going to ask me, hey, it already exists. Are you sure? Yeah, I want to override it. So I'm just going to click OK. So let's go back, and then this time whenever I refresh it, it's going to send me to the download, back to the home page, which is downloadpagebuilder.com. So let's refresh it and see what happens. And of course, there's nothing on downloadpagebuilder.com, so it sent me to the the blank index, or the open index of downloadpagebuilder.com. But you can see that the redirect worked. So now let me type it in again. I'm going to type in up here at the address bar, downloadpagebuilder.com/downloads. You can see it went, did the little spinning circles and sent me right straight back. So that's how you do a redirect script. And so you can do it either way. And then, of course, you'd also want to put in like a robots text file if you want, but it's not, you don't necessarily have to. And zip files aren't indexed by the robots anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. If you have everything in zip files, then they can't find it. Now, let me go back to the questions. Elizabeth asked if this is being recorded. Yes, ma'am, it sure is. And Gary asked, so FileZilla and HostGator would both be needed, not one or the other. Now, Gary, if you have HostGator, or any hosting for that fact, you don't have to use an FTP program like FileZilla. You can just use your cPanel at your hosting. But in order to use FTP, a program like FileZilla, you will need hosting. So in order for FileZilla to work, yes, you'll need HostGator, but you don't need FileZilla in order for your HostGator to work, if that makes sense, I hope. Drew said, I have an external drive to put all my stuff on. There you go, Drew. And if you're smart, smart enough, not smart, if you're smarter than me, I guess is what I'm trying to say, then you can actually, you can FTP straight from your external hard drive as well. And a lot of people they'll use backups on externals and on their online servers as well. And Richard said, now why would you want to do that? Why would I want to redirect just in case, or why would I want to put a blank index? The reason I would want to do that is just to thwart those, why would I want to put a blank one? Just to keep people from stealing your stuff. So the blank one may give them a clue that it exists, but they would still have to guess the name of the file. If you did the redirect, same thing. They could probably catch on to the fact that it's a redirect and be like, oh, well, that's his download folder. Either way, it's just it's better than having the folder open. Like you can see that I'm on the index page, how it has all these listed. If I go back and take out that index at the download, let me go back and show you. If I go back over here and I delete this index page from the downloads page, let's delete it by right-clicking and choosing delete. It's going to ask me, really delete one file? Yes. So let's go back over here to downloadpagebuilder.com, and I'm going to add /downloads. And you can see now it didn't redirect me, and it just shows me, it shows that it has the folder open, it shows the open directory. So if without the redirect or without the blank index, if they happen to get lucky enough to guess that it was downloads, Then they, if I had like 10 products in here, they go, ooh, and they can just download, all of them right at will. Now, if I have a blank in there, a blank index page in there like we just had, or I have a redirect, and they happen to get lucky enough to guess downloads, which, of course, you can name it something less easy to guess, um, then they're not going to have the luxury of being able to download my stuff. They'll have to still have to guess the name of the product. So in this case, they'd have to not only guess the folder, but then they'd have to also guess that this is how I spelled, that this is how the product was named, So it just kind of keeps people from stealing your stuff. Of course, nothing is foolproof, and people are still going to steal your stuff regardless. So that's just one way to kind of thwart the thieves. Can you put into chat? What would you like me to put into the chat, Kit? The HTML code for the redirect, probably, I bet. I was guessing that's what I would want. So let me grab that. She said, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, Kit wants the redirect. Let me grab it real quick. Let me open it up again with Notepad. And I'll change this part to http yoursitehere.com. Copy. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Here we go. There we go. I should have sent it to all. Drew asked, do I place this? Oops, hang on. I'm sorry, I gotta skip down a couple. Then Bruce asked, how do we get this to look like a normal web page? I'll get to that shortly, Bruce. Beverly asked, so your blank index HTML is a dummy file, and for those people that you give the download URL to, only they will have access to it, right? That is correct, Beverly. Only people who click on the the URL on your download page, which I'll show you. We'll get to the download page shortly. Oh man, and we're running low on time. It's already been almost an hour. So luckily we're almost through, so we'll get to the download page shortly. And Richard said, keep honest people honest. Yes. Drew said, do you put the squeeze page in the same place as your download? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on what I'm trying to do. Usually with squeeze pages, I'll go ahead and put it in the same place because it's just a freebie, and all I have to do is just kind of give the add a couple numbers to the end of the zip file, and most people aren't going to guess it. Now with paid products, I don't normally put them in the same spot simply because I want them to work a little harder, I guess, to steal it from me. Stan asked, what is a good source for basic HTML primer? Stan, I don't myself need too many primers. The last time that I needed an HTML primer, I think I got it from W3 class. I don't know. I just go to Google and type in. What I do is when I need something, like if I needed the code for an image script or to put in an image or something, I'll just go into Google and type it in and do it that way. To be honest with you, I don't have a certain site that I use myself, but there are a lot out there, so I just never have to use. I mean, I've learned how to do a squeeze page. That's usually about as much HTML as I have to do. Let's see. Yes, I agree. It would be easy to print the chat after the webinar, Kit. Kim said I forgot she's right. Let me correct that on the redirect script. I forgot the last parentheses. Let me fix that. Thank you, Kim, again. Kim is on it tonight. There we go. This is the correct redirect script. And Drew asked, where do you make a new folder for your squeeze page? I do sometimes also make a new folder for my squeeze page. So I do it both ways, Drew, to answer your question. Okay, now how do we get a download page? Because we don't want this nasty looking thing right here. First of all, let me tell you how we get the URL. Let's go there. Let's start there, and then we'll talk about the download page. Where am I? Sorry. I'm trying to find the right. Here you go. first of all, the URL is going to be yoursite.com/folder/product/zip or /PDF, or I'm sorry, .zip or .pdf or .mp3 or .mp4, etc., etc. So in this case, the URL to download the product would be www.downloadpagebuilder.com/ what did we name it? Downloads? I can't spell. Downloads/webinar with a capital W, hyphen or dash, whatever you want to call it, product.zip. So if you I'll actually put this in the chat. I'll put this in the chat so you can see that when you click on it, it should automatically give you a zip file. Let me try it. Yeah, you can see whenever I do it, it asks me right here, where do you want to save it? So that's how that works. And let me make sure that did I make that clear? Let me make this a little better to read. It's still going to be hard to fit this on the screen. That's sorry. But this is easy to read. yoursite.com/folder/product.zip. And of course, you don't have to put it in a folder. If you don't put it in a folder, then you would just obviously take that out. It would be yoursite.com/product.zip. And it doesn't have to be a zip. It can be a PDF. It can be an MP3, it can be an MP4, just whatever. I don't want to confuse anyone, but I don't want to think that you have to be restricted to this setup either. Let me see, make sure I got everybody. Okay, yeah. Hannah said it's w3schools.com, I think. So yeah, that's what I think it is too. So I've had friends recommend that site to me. So Richard said it was a great site. So that should help you out, Stan. It's w3schools.com. Let me put that here on w3schools.com. Okay, that's what it is. I'll copy that and let's put it over here. There you go, in the chat. So there you go, for those who need HTML. Stan said fantastic. Awesome. Everybody helping each other. That's great. So now we want a download page because we don't want this crappy little directory looking thing, right? We don't want this. We want to be professional. Okay? We want some good looking stuff. So that brings us to another software. All right. So, well, okay, there it is. There's two ways, of course, to create a download page. Obviously, let me show you the old school way to do it, or not old school, but the way that I've done 100 times. It's this. You go to Composer, which is kopozer.net. This is an HTML editor. You can also use something like Notepad++ or NVU or Front Page or Dreamweaver, I think is another one. There's a ton of them out there. Basically, this is an HTML editor. And normally, this is what you'd be working with. Like, okay, what do I want to do? I want to put some downloads on here, right? You know, so you say, thank you, thanks for your purchase, or thank you for purchasing, you know, and then you'd put, if you need help, reach me here, download link, you know, something like that. And obviously I can't spell because I never can for some reason when it's live. And you know, you do something like that, and what I would do is, of course, let me take that out and show you what I do is I go to Insert, I go to Table, and you can do it a couple different ways. If you've got a header and a footer already for your site, then you can do 3 by 1, and then just double click on that. Once it's set, you can set it. Ugh, I sound like Pop out here. Let me back up. You can see that whenever I created it, put it all the way across the page. That's not what we want. So I double clicked on it and it brought up this box, which is the table properties. I'm going to choose the height. So I'm going to double click on the table tab over here, and I'm going to choose the height as, I'm going to put it in 750 and then change that to pixels. I'm going to leave the spacing in the border and stuff. You could change that if you wanted to. So then I put change the table alignment to center. So I'm going to put apply. You can see it did it over here. Okay. So now we got something to work with. If I had a header, I'd put it in here. So let's say I have a header. And I hope this, I'm going to try an image here and let's hope it works. And it doesn't look like it's working. Let's try PNG. There it is. Yay. Okay. So got a header here. Let's center it. And then in the middle I'd put my downloads. So I'd go link. And then this is where I'd put in the URL for the zip file, right? Which would be download pagebuilder.com/downloads/webinar with a capital W hyphen or dash, whatever you call it, product.zip. Okay? And then I'm going to choose link to be opened in a new window, which you don't have to do because the zip automatically does anyways. I just do that out of habit. Okay, and then if I had a footer, it would go down here. And of course, if you didn't have a header and a footer, you would just make this a one-by-one table. So that's the old school way of doing it. It works. I mean, and you can make it look pretty decent without a whole lot of work, you know what I'm saying? And anybody here can do that very, very easily, even a tech idiot like me. That's the way I learned it then, and you can find templates and stuff to get it done. But now I have a cool little software that I just got built that does it for you. So let's do that. I'm going to show you what it looks like and how it works. And we will test everything. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Enter your product image. Let's we don't have a product image. Actually, before we get started, let's put all of our stuff in one folder. Let's do that. Let's go to our desktop and we got our webinar folder here. I'm going to open up another folder to make sure I've got everything else I need. So I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to put in my image. So let's do that. Whoa. Let's see, new folder. We'll call it download or DL page. DL page. There we go. So there we go. Let's go and I've got an image I think on my desktop. There we go. Let me copy that. Right click. Choose copy. I'm going to double click open that. Choose paste. There we go. All right. I think that's all we're going to need. And I'm going to put this in there too. Cool. And then whenever I create the download page, I'll put it inside of here. So we'll have everything where we need it. All right. So this will be Coby. So the image will be /Coby.jpg because it's going to be obviously already there. If it's on your desktop, you can choose it that way. Go to desktop and would be in the webinar folder, download page, Coby. There we go. Next. And then you can do your thank you text and message. You can use HTML in here. I'm just going to put thanks and congratulations. And if you had, you know, you can put anything in here you want as far as HTML goes. Click next. Enter instruction 1. That would be download file by clicking on the download icon. And instructions 2, right, extract files to desktop. And final instructions, you know, you can say double click PDFs to open and read. Of course, you can put anything in here, you know, you could put, I'm just using these because obviously we're, if you had something like a software, you could put go to www.this page, go to this link and register your software, and then extract your software and download it. And then step 3, enter your password here. And then if you want, you can put your final thank you message. I'm just going to put final thank you message, or let's see, to your success. Let's do that. Okay. Enter your product file as a zip. Again, we'll do the same thing. Right click, so I choose it on my folder, on my computer. We'll click again for next. Enter your business name or the name for your footer. I'm going to put in CobyWright.com. Click next. Enter your terms and conditions URL. This is CobyWright.com/about. Terms of use. Next. Again, this is just all fill in the blanks. About/privacy policy. Privacy policy URL. And contact page URL. This can be your help desk. This can be whatever you want. It could be a mail to. If you want to use an email address, you would put mail to first, the words mail and to without a space, and then the hyphen, and then your email address. In this case, I'm going to put my help desk, which is support.cobywright.com. There we go. Now you can click here, build my page. You can ask me, where do I want to save it? Well, I want to save it in that fancy little folder I just created. Oops, not that one. I'm not sure what I just did, but I think I messed it up. Yeah, let's put that back up here. Let's put it over there. That'll work. Anyways, so let's put it in here in the download page and choose that folder. Click OK. Please wait. All right, finished. Your files are in, and then it tells me where. Click OK. So it says they're in here. What do you know? They are in here. And it's got all the images and everything I need. So now let's go back to over here to the FTP, our FileZilla. I'm going to refresh it. You can see now we have the download page folder. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put our redirect back in there to the downloads folder just to get that out of the way, okay? Now I'm going to go and upload the download page by uploading the whole folder by right-clicking it and choosing upload. And give it just a second here. You can see it's working down here at the bottom. Boom, it's done. That's why I love FTP. Do you see how fast that was? So now let's go and see what it looks like. I'm going to go, and in this case it's going to be my site and then the name of the page. And since, in this case we put the download page as an index inside of a folder, or also, you know, that's just another name for a directory. So in that case, we don't have to type in .html. It's just the name of our site and then /download page, or DL page in this case. But if I didn't do that, I could just rename the index file to something else like dlpage.html, but we didn't. So there we go. We went to downloadpagebuilder.com/DL page, and this is what we got. Thank you for ordering. Your purchase has been completed. And this is the stuff that we entered. So this is the stuff that's already in there. Thank you for ordering. Purchase has been complete. This could be your picture of your image. In this case, I'll put my face. You can put thanks and congrats. It probably would have been better to say your file, download your files below, or your files are below, whatever. But then you can see it's got the instructions here. Download files by clicking on the download icon. Extract files to desktop. Download. Double-click PDFs to open and read. And then here's the final message that we put in there: to your success. And then you can see down here, put in all the other stuff for us: copyright, our date, the company name, etc., terms and conditions, link, privacy policy, and contact. And of course, let's test our big button here and see if it works. Ta-da, it does work. So that was that easy. It was that simple. That's how you get your files up on the internet so that everybody can download them. That's how you create a download page. And I see the question box is lighting up. So tell me how easy that is, or how hard that was, or if you could do that, and tell me how bad you want the software. Richard said, great, fantastic. John said, pretty cool, Coby. Awesome. Okay, so last week I did something really cool, and everyone loved it. Donna said the software makes it way easy. It does. It does. And Kit said cool and easy. It is awesome. It's really cool. Last week I did a cool thing with the IntelliSqueeze software, and uh, everyone loved it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing tonight. I'm actually going to give a copy of this software away to someone tonight on the call live here in just a few moments. And then I'll give everyone else a chance to get it as well for a really, really, really super, super low price, okay? Awesome. Hina said, learned a few new tricks. That is great. So, okay. First of all, before I give this away, do y'all want this software? I mean, before I waste my time, do y'all actually, I mean, does this software be useful for y'all? Of course, I knew the answer. I'm getting, yeah, sure. Elizabeth put a bunch of Y's. BW said, hell yes. Stan said, yes, several exclamation points. Would love it, yes. Oh, Jay, hey, welcome, Jay. I didn't catch you earlier. He said yes. Dennis said, Yeppers, absolutely great stuff. Yes, yes, Master. Chris said, welcome, Chris. I didn't see you either earlier. Lee said, yes, keep it simple. Welcome, Lee. I didn't see you earlier. Man, I got a bunch of people in here I didn't see earlier. Awesome. I'll bring the software out and everybody wakes up. Cool, cool. Okay, well, we got a bunch of people in here tonight, too. We got over 50 people in here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to count or first of all, let me tell you what's going to go. I'm going to give one of y'all a chance at the software, and then I'll give everybody else a chance to get it for a stupid low price, okay? So for the chance to win it, I do this kind of cool. We're going to do it like a drawing style, and since, you know, we can't really do like a raffle. What we're going to do is, in a second, I'm going to count down, and I'm going to take let's do the eighth person. The eighth person that tops in, because there's 52 of you on the call right now, okay? So the eighth person to top in, I want the software. Yes, I want the software. Something to that extent is going to get the free copy, okay? So don't top it in yet. You can top it in, but don't hit enter yet until the count of three, okay? So on the count of three, get ready, all right? So get your fingers ready, okay? Here we go. Count of three, top in, I want the software. And the eighth person is going to be the winner. All right, not yet. Count of three. Not yet. Y'all are going too soon. Well, count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go now. Okay, good. That's enough. All right. All right, let me count them down here. Man, I think all y'all just went at the same time. Okay, we had a couple that went early, so let me get those out. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. Peter, you were first. Richard, you were second. Stan, you were third. Mark, you were fourth. Beverly was fifth. Lee, you were sixth. Chuck, you were seventh. Bruce, you were number 8. And then Graham, you were number 9. I'm sorry, buddy. So, Bruce, if you will put your email in the chat box for me, I will send you a copy of the software as soon as the webinar is over. And for everybody else, how much is Coby going to charge us for this? I know everyone's wondering. Okay, let's go to www.gocoby.com/instant page. I think. Let's find out. Yep. All right, $7, folks. $7. So for 7 measly bucks, you can grab your copy of the download page builder software that I just showed you. We just used. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. That created. Where is it? I'm sorry. That created. I'm sorry. They created this download page. And of course, if we had to put more effort into it, it'd be much prettier than this. And we can still take this and edit it even more in Composer. So I can edit this in Composer and make it look even way better. I mean, this gives you something to work with. I didn't even mention that. And so that download page, $7. And wow, y'all are doing that, let me show you how easy it is to edit it using Composer, because maybe you have more than one download. Maybe you don't want to put all of them in one zip file. Maybe it's huge, you know. So let's see, how do I do that, Coby? I'm going to show you. We will open up Composer. You can use Notepad++, NVU, front page, Dreamweaver, whatever you like. Let's go to download page. So open it up. Here we go. You can see I've got all my little fancy stuff on here. I want to change this, or if I want to center it, let's say, let's change this to download your files below. Okay. And then let's change this one right here to, if you have, oops, if you, I cannot type. If you have any problems downloading your files, downloading these files, please visit the help desk at www.support.cobywright.com. Cool. And then if you don't like this download button, you could change that as well. I happen to think that one looks pretty cool, so we'll just leave it. And if I wanted to link this, I could. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's hyperlink that. If I want to make this bigger, let's take that out. Let's bold that, make it a little bigger. Do whatever you want. So, and if you know CSS, well, if you know CSS, you probably won't be. I'm not going to go there. If you know CSS, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. But anyways, let's link this by highlighting it, clicking link, pasting in the, oh, that's the wrong one. Typing in the URL, support.cobywright.com, clicking on the link to be opened in a new window. Okay. And I'm just going to choose save, go back over here, and I'm going to upload it again. You can see I'd asked me there twice because I didn't check that box where it said apply to current queue, or always use this action and apply to current queue. So now let's go back and let me open up a new window and see what it looks like. So you can see we edited it, and there you go. Now to click that, it takes them to my support desk, and they can, of course, if you want to change these stuff, you can too. But it makes it really quick. If you do a lot of ad swaps and stuff like that, man, this is a perfect little clean page for an ad swap. If you're doing list building and stuff, good little page to put for downloads for your freebies. And then of course, you can still put banners and ads and stuff below this as well. You don't have to be limited to this, but it gives you a great place to start, and one that you can use right out of the box. So let me look at the questions here. Yes, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't even put the, Peter, I'm sorry. Let me put the, I didn't even tell you. Let me put the link in the box. I'm sorry, Peter. Peter's asking he asked me if I could put the link back in for the software, and I never really even told y'all, did I? Or I told y'all, and I was just like, oh, there it is. What is it? It's instant page. GoCoby.com/instant page. Sorry, Peter. And let me put it over here. GoCoby.com/instant page. All right, let me go back to the questions here. Mark said, thanks to the webinar, Coby, it was great. You're very welcome. Thanks for showing up. Awesome. I got your email address, Bruce. So I will send you the zip file right after the webinar. Gary said you keep the link in here. Yes, Gary. I'm sorry. I was having a brain fart, so I got it in there now. Okay. If y'all have any more questions about uploading, about FTP, about the software, about any of that, go ahead and ask them now. Stan said, fantastic usual. Thank you very much, Stan. I appreciate it. Gary said, you're a trip. Thank you. I'm glad I could keep you entertained. Awesome. Looks like most of the questions are good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll wrap it up. For those of you who are watching the replay, appreciate, first of all, thank everyone for showing up that made it here tonight that is live. We got over 50 people that showed up and made it through to the end. I really appreciate y'all. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. There's a lot of stuff you could be doing. Second, for those of you who are watching the replay, I appreciate you taking the time out to at least watch the replay. I hope that you learned a lot of stuff. If you want to pick up this software while it's still available, I can't guarantee it'll still be $7, but I can guarantee it'll still be available if you go to www.gocoby.com/instant page. Of course, it's an introductory price, so the price will go up, just like the IntelliSqueeze software that I showed y'all last week. The price will be going up on it either this week or next week. I have to finish the updates. Same thing with this software. Those of you who are live get the best deals. Those of you who act fast on the replays, you might still get it for $7 too. Okay, that's all I got for y'all tonight. This is Coby from CobyWright.com signing off.